All right, guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. Going to get into the core plays here for the Zurich Classic. Now, this is going to be a super fun event. It's the first time that we've had this event, a group style format for Draftkings, which you guys know me. I love these type of events, these secondary events. They're ones where you can really kind of, it's not a secondary event, but they're ones where you can really go out and gain an edge. You know, not as many people concentrating on it, not as much, I guess, data for it. Makes it super easy to get an ad, so I'm pretty excited. We'll get into that here now. Do just want to get into that quick recap of the previous week as well, though. So kind of the hot streak here for 9 to 5 went ahead and continued last week. We're looking at the RBC Heritage now. Really, my only regret with last week was kind of just not playing more. A little bit of the Masters hangover, if you will. Yeah, pretty solid week. So we'll just pull it up here a little bit further. Eight of our players finished top 10 or better. So 30% of our player pool finished top 10 or better. Actually, T9 or better. Stuart Sink, he was a top 12 staff fit last week for us in the model. So that obviously worked out well. Really, the only unfortunate side with Stuart Sink for me personally is that he had burned me about a month ago, pretty much twice. He was really popping. Kind of better play on paper kind of a month ago prior to his kind of missed cuts in a row. So great to see him bounce back. Really not shocking that he went out and won. He's been a top 12 staff hit for a majority of the events that he's played in this year. 88% of the player pool actually went out and made the cut, which really does continue that really hot streak that we've been on. The core plays all went out and made the cut. That was Brian Harmon. He finished T13. Abraham Answer finishing T18. Kind of a letdown there with Abraham Answer a little bit. Matthew Naismith went out and made the cut. He was a core value play for us. Really should have been higher owned than he was. I already mentioned Matthew Naismith. Brandon Daniel Berger there, sorry. T13, and then Corey Connors, T14. And then kind of the pick to win it all was Colin Morikawa. Kind of had that Sunday letdown, but he still finished T7 or better. So overall, pretty darn good stuff there. And then just kind of going over this tournament here as well for this week, we got the Zurich Classic, which I already mentioned is going to be a group style format event. So it is going to be kind of a breakdown of two different kind of style of group play that you can go out and play. So we'll pull that up here now as well. So yeah, breaking it down, this is a team style format. So we don't exactly have confirmation on which rounds are going to be best ball and which rounds are going to be alternative shot or alternate shot there. We just know that two of them are going to be. What I saw was round 1 and 3 are going to be best ball, and round 2 and 4 are going to be alternate shot. We don't know if that's exactly true just yet, but this is going to be a Pete Dye style course. We don't really have any data to go off of for which key stats we should be looking at. I just want golfers that can go out and hit their shots, and I want golfers that are going to be able to go out and score. So that's really what is going to reflect the key stats that I'm looking at for this event. And then I do want to mention kind of for tournament history, it's more going to be event style course history. We got the QBE shootout, which is a 24-man similar style event, group style format. And then we're going to be looking at the Zurich Classic over the last 2 years as well. So some of the players that pop for stat fits that we're looking at is going to be Colin Morikawa, Jon Rahm, and Ryan Palmer there. So Jon Rahm and Ryan Palmer are going to be playing partners again this week, which kind of interesting there. And something I probably should have mentioned earlier is that for this week, you have to select only one of the players in a grouping. So they're all going to be the same price for that grouping. So the grouping is going to be priced accordingly. So both Jon Rahm and Ryan Palmer are going to be 11.5 on Draftkings. You can only select one of those golfers. Both of them are great plays. So it doesn't really matter who you select. But the fact that 2 of the top 5 stat fits here are playing together, yeah, that's a good sign for the defending champs there. We got Chase Seifert and Justin Suh actually casually popping up there as well. A little bit shocking to me that those two were kind of closing out the top 5. We're going to be looking at course history here as well now. So for course history, it is kind of difficult, if you will, because we are looking at that QBE shootout. where a top 12 does rank out well. A top 12 finish ranks out well, but that wasn't a good finish for that tournament. So something to keep note of when we actually are breaking it down a little bit more. But we do want to pull up Jon Rahm. He was the winner at this event last year. That's his only start, so he technically shouldn't be on this, but he ranks at number 1 in the model. He's going to be a guy to bring up a decent amount, so I kind of wanted to keep him out there for you guys. Then we got Brennan Todd as well. Brennan Todd has finished 5th and 3rd. That was both at that QBE shootout. We're looking at Ryan Palmer as well, a first in 2020 with Jon Rahm there. Top 10 at the QBE shootout, which once again, not that good because there's only 24 teams, so the worst you can finish is 12th. But whatever. He had a 3rd then in 2020 though. Cameron Tringale, he's played well. We go a little bit lower. We look at Kevin Tway. Kevin Tway casually popping up as well. 13th at this event last year, a 2nd at the QBE shootout, and that 1st at the QBE shootout as well over the past 2 years there. Then we're looking at Billy Horschel as well. Billy Horschel 13th, 1st, 5th, and 3rd. Billy Horschel's looking like the Kevin Kisner of these style events. Kevin Kisner is the head-to-head champ. Billy Horschel might be the group play champ here. That's pretty crazy there. I did not see that coming there for Billy Horschel. Looking at recent form here. Recent form, casually a lot of good golfers here this week. Jon Rahm popping up there as well. Obviously, we know Jon Rahm's just been playing some great golf recently. Just been a stud. He's only had 1 bad finish, and that was at a WGC event. Every other finish has been T13 or better. His last 3 starts on tour have all been top 10 finishes. Cameron Smith, no surprise there. Cameron Smith has been playing great golf. 9th, 10th, 28th, 17th, 11th, 4th. Been a stud there. Thomas Peters casually popping up. He has been playing in those easier events though, with 13th and 15th at the Puerto Rico Open. And then Jason Kokrak as well. Not too great recently, if you will. 49th and 42nd in his last 2 events, but before that, 9th, 8th, and 9th place finish. Now that we got that, quick breakdown done for you guys, let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into the picks for this week. All right, so once again, just kind of going over it. Yeah, so once again, just kind of going over it. You have to only pick 1 player for each group. You can't pick both the players, apparently. That's kind of weird to me. I kind of wish we could double dip the chip, if you will. If you're going gung-ho on a group winning and they go on and win, why is that your fault? I don't know. Kind of a weird thing there, but just kind of looking at it, I do want to start off with like Rahm and Ryan Palmer here. The thing about this event is that you're not just selecting the player, you're also selecting their player partner. So the fact that both Rahm and Palmer rank out top 5 in the model, they're the defending champs, they've been playing great golf, they're both top 5 stat fits, it makes a ton of sense to play one of these guys. So by default, I just went with Jon Rahm as a core play for me this week. We'll pull him up here a little bit more. So just breaking it down. Top 3 stat fit guys. So he ranks top 43 or better in all the stats that we're looking at here. Effective total driving, 40th, 31st in effective ball striking, 43rd in effective greens gain, 40th in strokes gain tee to green, and then effective birdie to bogey ratio, top 10 in that. Course history, he only has 1 start, which was the win last year. I already talked about his recent form, but 5th, 9th, 32nd, 5th, 13th, and 7th. I mean, he has been an absolute stud, just playing great. I will not be shocked if he goes out and wins. We do kind of want to mention Ryan Palmer as well. Pretty much just the exact same thing as Jon Rahm, just slightly worse recent form. Pretty much the exact same stat fit. And then he actually has played well at the QBE shootout, another similar style event prior to that win last year. So really not shocking there to me. Going to be a great grouping there for those two. So if you want to end up on those two, I definitely get it. And then we're looking at, I don't really want to play Collin Morikawa and Matthew Wolff. If there was going to be an event where things turn around for Matthew Wolff, it would be playing with Collin Morikawa, because Collin Morikawa was absolutely playing like a stud last week, just could not putt. Really shocking there that he putted as bad as he did. But I don't really want to play someone that is in poor recent form. Now, it doesn't exactly matter. This is going to be a lower scoring event. And with it being a lower scoring event, you always do want to target, or not target, you want to favor more variance, because when it's a lower scoring event, an easier scoring event, then, it kind of brings the rest of the field into it. So you can definitely pay down for values. You don't really have to pay up. And if you're going to be paying up, you want to be paying up for winning and security. And that doesn't really seem like the case for those guys there. So after that, I do kind of really want to look at someone like Billy Horschel. Billy Horschel is going to be playing with Sam Burns, he's been a little bit hit or miss for us, for pretty much everyone in PGA DFS this season. But Billy Horschel has casually been playing pretty well as of recently. Kind of annoying because he's had some random outbursts on the course, which no one likes to see, but he does rank out as a top 20 stat fit. Nothing too crazy to love, but nothing too alarming. Really strong course history, comp course history, event history, whatever you want to call it. So casually, he's kind of checking all the boxes here, and the fact that he plays with Sam Burns doesn't really move the needle for me at all, but it's not going to hurt. He's a guy where he has been popping a lot stat fit wise, really struggled for a little bit there. Seems like he finally got his game back there at the RBC Heritage. Given the fact that it's just been some small things with Sam Burns, I think he'll be able to figure out. So pairing him with Billy Horschel to me does make a ton of sense. And then I really love this grouping here. Chris Kirk and Brendan Todd. Just kind of perfect. You got the guy who top 20 stat fit, 9-to-5's boy, most owned player this season, top 12 in recent form. Then you got Brendan Todd paired up with him as well. A 5th and a 3rd at the QBE shootout. That's pretty good. So you get like kind of the accurate players here. Really, you take out 1 or 2 bad holes for them. These two really should go out and score well and really play well. Chris Kirk continues to play the way he has, and if Brendan Todd continues to play decent enough, yeah, they're going to be a force to reckon with. They both rank out top 20 in the model this week, so I do like those two as well. Then I kind of do like Chris Ventura and Victor Hovland here. Obviously, Victor Hovland is the name value here, but Ventura ranking out as a top 10 stat rank play this week. Not too much event style history here for either of them, except for Victor Hovland, where he had a 6th place finish at that QBE shootout. So nothing really to go crazy with, but I love the price point here for, some accurate golfers, kind of a fun style event. One of my knocks with Victor Hovland is always that he never seems to be taking anything too seriously. Well, this is an event where they kind of just have fun with it, and then they go out and play well with their buddies. So I kind of really like those two. I think that they could be very, very sneaky options for everyone this week in DFS. And then we're going a little bit lower. You can play some people in this price point range. I'm just not feeling it. I do want to pay up for some of those studs and then pay down where I can. Now, I do want to mention Charlie Hoffman here, Nick Watney. I don't know what to feel about Nick Watney this week, but I do like Charlie Hoffman. So 9th place finish and 31st place finish. So, that's okay. Made the cut, if you will, both years. And that's another thing I should have mentioned. This isn't a tournament where it is pretty much playing like a similar style event. There's a cut. Pretty much a full tournament field event. The only difference is that they're paired up with teammates. So just something interesting there, but the same amount of players will make the cut as they typically would at a normal event. So we can pretty much approach this like a normal event, if you will. So Nick Watney, 9th and 31st, that's not bad. Charlie Hoffman here as well. His playing partner the last 2 years, great to see that. Played well at the QBU shootout in 2020. We know that Charlie Hoffman has been a stud though recently. We love that. I think Charlie Hoffman is going to be a stellar pick for us this week. And then we get into my boy right here, Justin Suh. So I think, we got Cameron Tringale first. Okay, we'll do Cameron Tringale first, I guess. Cat's out of the bag. So both Justin Suh and Cameron Tringale, their partners and grouping is right next to each other. They're both going to be phenomenal plays. So Cameron Tringale actually ranks out top 7 in recent form, top 7 in course history, and top 13 in stat rank. Top 4 overall in the model. Now, that's mostly due to the fact that he had a 5th place finish here in 2020. That's really his only start comp course history-wise, but he does rank out top 15 stat rank-wise. Recent form has been spectacular, minus that miscut at the Players. He's finished 9th, 13th, 31st, 26th, 7th, 17th, 18th, and 56th. That's absolutely phenomenal. And Roberto Castro played with him last year at this event. 21st stat fit. That's not horrible. Not great, but not horrible. And then we get into the other core play here. Justin Suh. So one of the main reasons I do like Justin Suh is that he is going to be paired up with Ghim. Ghim, once again, ranks out really well stat fit wise, top 10 this week. Overall, pretty solid recent form. If you look back since the American Express, he's finished 5th, 37th, 21st, miscut, 36th, 29th, miscut, 49th, and 33rd. So that's good for Ghim. We like to see that. So I think Justin Suh has played up with a nice playing partner, and you guys kind of saw it's coming. You guys know I love Justin Suh. 19th in recent form, hasn't played too many events, but 37th at the Farmers, 35th at the Puerto Rico Open, 28th at the Corrales. We like that. For a lot of his stats, he doesn't rank out or doesn't have enough rounds to qualify for some of them, but where he does qualify, he does rank out top 5. He's been a top 10 stat fit really this whole year. Part of where he's not ranking out is due to the fact that his last 2 events were the Corrales and the Puerto Rico Open. I'm kind of unfortunate there for him. Obviously, we don't have data for that. The PGA Tour doesn't provide that, but overall, it does rank out as a top 5 pick this week. I actually really like Justin Suh. Once again, this week I played him a ton. I think I played him 100% of the weeks that he's been able to play a tournament. And then we just go a little bit lower. Sure, there's a bunch of plays that we can go out and, potentially find a reason to play them. That's kind of the theme this week, and that's what makes it fun. There are going to be some quality groupings down below, like, I guess, if you will, Scott Piercy, decent course hitter. You could play him and his playing partner if you want to go that route. You could. I'm not going to be doing that. Really, the one that popped up to me the most is this grouping of Kevin Tway, and I forget who he's with. Was it Bazzelli or Duffner? Either way, we got to pull up Kevin Tway. That was bad. So let's just make the case for Kevin Tway. I want to pull this up, and I'm going to pull him up as a core play slide. So, course history-wise, second at that QBE in 2021, and then first in 2020. We look at his 2020 start, 13th there. Now, he still ranks out top 31 stat fit-wise, which we like to see, but recent form-wise, want to point this out. 3 miscuts, and then he finally got some stuff together last week where he went out and had a top 48 finish. So Kevin Tway, to me, at 6.5 kind of makes sense. I think he's going to be worth the risk, to be honest with you guys. Obviously, we're searching for something, but obviously Kevin Tway really does enjoy these style of events where, maybe these guys, they're having 1 or 2 bad holes or a few bad holes where they get bailed out by their partners and they can go out and play well. So someone like Kevin Tway, to me, does make a ton of sense. But I'm really looking forward to this event. There's a lot of stuff that we can go out and enjoy, a lot of stuff we can do game theory wise. So there's going to be a lot of stuff for us to go out and look at, especially as the week goes on. We can still continue to look at that. One player I do want to pull up here just real quick is going to be James Hahn. Top 8 stat fit. Relatively good recent form. We know with James Hahn. We know what the story is with James Hahn. He's kind of a similar play to that of Stuart Sink, where he's been a top stat fit really this whole year. Wouldn't surprise me if he went out and had a massive week. Definitely a little bit of risk reward there, but that's kind of going to be the theme of this week. All right, that is all I have for you guys for this one. Obviously, we're going to dive down into this a lot more as the week goes on. Definitely make sure to check out that live stream on Wednesday at 6:30 Central Standard Time. If you guys want to join 95 Nation, the link is in the description below. Hope you guys do, and as always, let's keep cashing.